at 237 East 31st Street in South Central Los Angeles. I'm performing a sewer line inspection. The purpose for this inspection is to see the condition of the sewer line. We're looking for any defects, roots, breaks, ships, that kind of stuff that could be a potential problem to this sewer line. At this point, I entered the main sewer line through a 3-inch ABS cleanout access located inside the basement at the front of the front house, but towards the rear. And at this point, I'm at the city connection, which is somewhere in the middle of the street, and I had success getting to it. And then we're gonna start our inspection the way back. As you can see, there's a heavy root intrusion at the saddle. If you can see at the bottom of your screen, right at the corner, right now in the middle, yeah, it looks like it's shift in the pipe, maybe a slight crack, but I won't be certain unless we clean these roots out. These roots have grown through that joint. You can see on the top left corner of the video there's a slight gap between the two fittings, and that's a common area for roots to grow through into the pipe. Looks like it's just a ball of roots, but they'll just get bigger and bigger with time. This is a 6-inch clay pipe, and it's original to this house. And like I said, we're in the middle of the street, and we're coming back towards the house, towards the point of entry. And you can see the foot count at the bottom left corner, and that foot count will start to roll back as we get closer and closer to the point of entry. There's somebody might be using the water, so you'll see water running at the bottom of the screen. This camera is in an upright position, so what you see is what it is. Bottom is the bottom of the pipe, top is the ceiling of the pipe. And it's a self-leveling camera, so when you make some turns, it'll wobble a little bit, but then it'll come back to its original position. This is a slight shift, but those are typical to find in this particular material. Clay pipe, they don't make long sections of clay pipe, so they make only 5-foot sections, and they put them together to create a long line. I would say the condition of the clay pipe is acceptable. I think it's in good condition, given the circumstances and the age of the property. Although it looks really good in the inside, but because it's so old and it's an earth material, it's fragile. It might be brittle by now, and the only thing that's keeping it together is that nobody tampers with it. But seismic activity like an earthquake or heavy equipment rolling over the street may cause problems to these lines. Not all the time, but it's a possibility. As you can see, there's another point of entry for roots, and this is the 4 to 6 transition. This area is considered to be the property line, which is the edge to the sidewalk. So the inside of the sidewalk is where this transition happens, where the line goes from 4-inch to 6-inch. So it gets bigger under the property limits, and it continues on in 6 inches the rest of the way. Again, there's some more roots there. And there. If you pay attention to the video, almost at every 5 feet, that's where the joints are, and typically that's where the roots grow. This is the most significant root intrusion I found. I had to squeeze through it. As you can tell, the water got a little bit more significant now. The people running the water, which is okay. That way we can verify that the drain is working as intended. Okay, I made a mistake. This is our property limit. So this is the edge to the sidewalk. 60 feet. This is the edge of the sidewalk. You can see how it gets dark in front, and as get in, the camera opens up wider. We'll do this one more time. Okay, so the last shift we said it was the property limit. It's not somewhere in the middle of the street. So now we are located within the property limits. I see a crack at the middle of the screen on the left side. You can see the roots growing in. I can tell because of the lifted section. Looks like a piece of the pipe has shifted up some. Because the water is running, I can't see the bottom to see the crack, but I can tell. I can see the edge of the broken piece. And you can see the roots growing from the left side. This connection here, you see the water running through the right side of the screen. That is the connection to the rear unit. So the rear unit is going to run under the driveway all the way out to the front of the house, and then it's going to connect into the front house at the front of the yard. So right now we're in the sewer line that only serves the front house. So this section it's only for the front house. We don't know the condition for the rear house unless we scope it, but I wasn't able to because the clean out access is not sufficient in size so that the camera can fit through it. Clay pipe is typically located at the outside of the foundation. So anything under a covered area would be cast iron pipe, but as soon as that area is terminated through the foundation, then the sewer line transitions into a different material, which is clay. So anything that is clay will be considered to be out of the foundation. So this is still under the front yard. So we're going to make our transition into the cast iron pipe, and that is a good area for roots to grow because it's different types of materials connecting together, and 90% of the time there's roots in that joint, and that's what we see here. As you can tell the difference in material, now this is cast iron pipe. This is in a much corroded state. This is it has built up, it's corroded at the bottom, the stuff builds up in it, it rusts and it builds up, and you can tell the surface is a lot more rough. If you pay attention, in the middle of the screen there's this little channel where water travels. It like makes its way through it, and as it goes through it, it starts to cave in the sediment, creating this type of channel at the bottom of the pipe. That is the weakest portion of the screw line. On a cast iron pipe, the bottom of the pipe is the weakest because the water travels over and over and over, and it weakens the pipe. The top of the sewer line is a lot more strong, but you want to make sure there. the pipe is in good condition at the bottom because that's where the strain happens. Again, this portion of the sewer line, this is located under the house and is buried. And you can see like severe decay. This pipe is in severe decay. So much stuff and so many things happening in this pipe. I would imagine it's at the point of replacement just because it's worn out so bad. This is a transition to plastic, so that means they replace a section of the sewer line, and when we get to the plastic, this is the newer portion of the sewer line. Plastic, unless metal does not corrode, so this is a connection. I see it somewhere in the middle of the house. They put a new connection, but then it changes back again to cast iron, and then it's going to change back to plastic. Right here. Changes back to plastic. You can tell the difference in material. One, old and very rusted, and the other one, even though it's dirty, but it's in good condition. Plastic does not corrode, but it builds stuff around it. When I get this camera out of this clean out access, what I'm going to do is take a shot of the surrounding of this crawl space or this basement. And as you can tell, this is an interrupted video inspection. It was not edited. And this confirms that this camera came out of this sewer line for this particular address. This concludes our video inspection. A written report will follow up. This video will be uploaded to YouTube, and the name on the video will be 31st Street. Thank you.